WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
What time is it now? Okay, I saw the problem.
It's me.
Yeah, the time is now, 8:10 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and welcome back to Activated Mornings this morning. You're listening to Ari, and with me is Christal this morning, and we are Activated Mornings. Now, this is something that came up in Cop Chat a few weeks ago. Was it a few months ago? I'm not sure.
To be honest, forever.
Well, but the story, you can find it on 99wefm.com. Police forces, public relations, and complaints department could be separated in the near future. So the story reads, public relations and complaints department of the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force could become separated in the near future. This is according to Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of crimes, Trevor Bailey. ACP Bailey was at the time responding to the concerns of Voices program host, lawyer Jomo Thomas, concerns that the same department responsible for public relations also deals with citizen complaints. I am sure that in the not too distant future, efforts are being made to separate the offices. So police public relations will separate from the complaints department, because we share your concerns where persons are of the opinion that the police can't be the investigators of themselves. People are of the opinion that nothing happens. I mean, I hear the concern. I am not in total agreement, because I have known of cases where people complain that their rights were violated. They lodged the necessary complaint, and the complaints department and persons were charged either criminally or disciplinary and convicted, he said. Bailey, in addressing the concern of the host and the public, provided some insight into the police force's internal disciplinary practices. So we have our own internal court system where officers, if you're found guilty of any breach, you could be fined up to $250 per charge. That is. So let's say you're convicted on 4 counts. You could find yourself losing $1,000 from your salary. Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of crimes, Trevor Bailey, said while speaking on the Voices program aired on WEFM.
Seeing is believing. That's all I have to say on that. Seeing is believing. Man, this has been talked about and addressed for years. Years. Let me stress the years. And now it's around the corner. Seeing is believing, my people. How much of an impact it will have the future with the relationship between civilians and the police force, we'll see what happens. But they were meant to be separated. They're not meant to be together. It's a match made in hell.
Sorry. But you're right. How can the department responsible for protecting the image of the police? It's polar opposites. Polar opposites. It cannot be the same department. It does not make sense. So when persons issue their concerns, they're correct to issue their concerns.
It's a conflict of interest. It's been a long-standing conflict of interest. I'm more curious as to why is it taking so long. Is it going to cost? Is it money? Is it will? Is it they just don't care? Somebody holding up the show? Is it that it's going to have a negative impact on the police? What's the reason for the hold up? Because to me, on the outside, I'm like,
it
just separate them.
Could be money, and I think it also could be officers don't want to be a part of that department.
Which department? The complaints.
Complaints of public relations, because they're probably the enemies.
No, but on a serious note, if you're assigned a job, you're assigned a job. You're working for the police, so wherever they put you, right?
Yeah, but
You
then,
just gotta work.
but then they have said it here on Activated Mornings that the department is small. And I remember all through early journalism days, when you go over to the public relations department, there may be 2 or 3 officers in that department. So it could be that a lot of money isn't directed towards that department, because maybe as police officers they're saying, well, we need to divert more money into crime solving. We need to put more money in departments such as CID, traffic, hierarchy.
You see,
I don't know.
right? We have realized the importance of this department time and time again. And it could actually assist with crime fighting. So if you're going to say the funding is the issue, I'm not buying it. Separate the two. They don't
really
make
need-
sense to be together. And everybody can see it, and everybody, they have highlighted it, even down to officers have said it should not be so. And if they know, and we know, and even the moon knows it, the sun knows it too,
Stars.
and the stars and the other galaxies and universes out there, then it just really does make sense to separate. So who is separate them? Who holding up the show? I wonder if the reasoning behind this one not happening is the same reason why the SSU HQ. Let me leave them alone. Good morning to the SSU officers. Good morning to the persons working in the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force. Morning, y'all. Especially the traffic guys. Pick up yourselves. Stand up and outside they're going so pulling and moving your hands every minute. Not an easy job. It's not an easy road, yeah?
I wonder whatever. Somebody did suggest that the reason why the traffic lights are obsolete
Oh my gosh.
is the funding for it to keep them in operation.
Maintenance.
Maintenance. So if we
Saint.
can't fund we athletes and we can't fund this and we can't fund that, then we can't fund traffic lights.
Is basically importance, priority, right?
Mhm.
Rate of return. Yet people ain't paying the little $100, $50 at the Milton Kettle Memorial Hospital for the services they get for next to nothing, right? Anyways, because money has to be diverted to covering those costs, right?
You're willing a holiday, boy.
I don't what?
Mr. Milton gave the Memorial Hall. You're willing a holiday, boy.
boy.
Manifesting.
Yeah, something like that. I don't even remember what's going with the point.
My bad. Well, why did you try to
it's even
remember?
before you start talking,
okay,
so I was glad for you to interject.
There was also an interesting story on Searchlight this week in the midweek that members of the public have raised concern about a lack of confidentiality among officers in the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, pointing to this as a hindrance to the national fight against crime. And this is something we all knew. But this concern residents raised some interesting points I want to hear your thoughts on as well. So the amnesty was announced in 2023, a record for homicides in SVG with a total of 55, while 6 murders have already, 7 now, recorded for this year. More than half of the murders for 2024 have been committed with the use of a firearm. Why are we talking amnesty? Because this is where the topic arose. The topic was raised at one of the series of town hall meetings aimed at educating the public about the upcoming gun amnesty, which runs from March 1st to March 31st. Residents from Calico and surrounding communities attended the interactive session where they had the opportunity to interact with and question senior police officers on the amnesty. One female resident laid the blame for the challenges in the crime fighting effort, at the feet of chatty officers who she accused of putting the lives of the public in jeopardy. I'm quoting, Yes, I'm quoting what the resident said. There is no confidentiality because when somebody calls the police station, as soon as the person hangs up the phone, they call or text somebody and say, Mary, just call here and make a report. Innit? That is the biggest problem. You have to talk to your officers. The resident told those at the town hall that she believes mobile phones, particularly social media, is the root cause of breaches of confidentiality among officers and the public. This is why people are getting killed. Your officers are talking too much and people are losing their lives. And it is a serious, serious thing, she charged. Deputy Commissioner Frankie Joseph, who led the town hall meeting, acknowledged the concern of the resident. During the discussion, he admitted that the breakdown of trust between officers and citizens. He admitted the breakdown of trust, The deputy cop said the force was committed to improving community relations. One of the things that we need to do is improve our solving rate. Well, you don't say. And to improve our relationship with the communities. If we can improve our relationship and improve the issue of confidentiality, that will help us to eliminate about 80% of the challenges that we are facing, he pointed out. So the next town hall meeting was yesterday at Georgetown. So we don't have any information coming out of that because we didn't attend that town meeting.
Georgetown. Georgetown.
Well,
Good morning,
Georgetown. Georgetown, because a lot of nonsense happening in Georgetown as well, including teenagers and young boys. A lot of nonsense happening in Georgetown. But what do you think about this phone thing?
Some of them chat too much, them talk too much, everything we do.
But do you think that the phones itself and social media is the reason? Because I don't see...
No, it's not the phones, because the phone's not downloading any information from your brain or leaking. It's you. You are the problem. You're talking too much. If it is that they are in fact talking too much, because this is an opinion piece, right?
No, there's a story.
Oh, sorry. Yes, a story. You're talking too much. Keep your mouth quiet. Like, common sense does not prevail. If you open your mouth, something can happen. And the confidence, because you want people to be able to come to you. Like, let me explain a little bit to you, right? It's like in your relationship, right? Boyfriend, girlfriend. If your girlfriend confides in you and tells you things, and you go and tell somebody else, you think y'all going there? She will leave you for another better looking guy who keeps his mouth closed.
Why are you just gonna say who keeps his mouth closed?
Because sometimes they don't understand it unless you put a little extra spaz in it. But on a serious note, it is of utmost importance that you maintain a positive relationship between police and the civilians. One way in which you can do that, just ensure that whatever information that you give to that officer, whatever information you receive from a civilian, is kept confidential. Unless, of course, it must be shared to another officer who has to take another step in that process. Don't go back and tell somebody else and put things on the street.
And I do think that the officers, if it's not happening, because I don't know, I'm not in the police force, we have a call coming in.
Bet. Good morning.
Good morning, my sisters and brothers. How are you?
Good for the time.
I'm not going to hold you up too long. I'm just going to give you a little information that will help you in your discussion. So no other person has given the support to police than anything else. So last year, what month it was, we had a robbery. The young lady across Renton Drive River, she was robbed. They took all her rent. Sometime 8 o'clock in the night, she went down the road to meet her daughter, and she was robbed. The only how we got to know my brother that they had a robbery because the lady is my wife, good friend. So she told her what happened. And even when I called the police, they didn't seem to want to give any information about the robberies, like if they were basically hiding it up. Anyway, about 2 or so days after the robbery, a neighbor came to me. I can't call his name because he was very scared too. He said, honey, I suspect who might have done this. He said the 2-person suspect been right in front of your very gate, changing our clothes. He gave me the description. And he said, do me one favor, please. I beg you in Jesus' name. Don't call my name with the police because I know that they're going to leak it out. I said I took it as my my duty to call the police, and I called two persons, and I give them two officers. I call them and give them the information. I wasn't worried for my life. I just want to give information. That is me. I said, God, protect me. Do you know I'm calling back from the people, the hierarchy, people in the police and Calicut. And when I call Calicut, just to find out, how it's going, the officer was like, don't call back here. You did ready running on my prime minister. Oh God, my sister. I mean, you don't know the terror with these police. And I'm only saying they've been last year, playing up, carrying on, crime going down. Simmons, crime levels lower, this level lower. I call in, I said, really? And then all of a sudden we're hearing for Caribbean Lifestyle, 55, 52 per 100,000, the most violent. Let me just say this, my sister. If we don't wake up to the reality that what we have is not police anymore, we have police no different than Venezuela. I could tell you if my son was the commissioner of police, unlike how we see with Colin John and this current, I would not trust me. He might not even be able to come in my house and sleep here. Because for me, when you basically don't speak the truth and rule of law, and you treat people differently, those who don't support the ULP, you treat them different, you put them in a cell. And we on this radio program constantly can't see that. Well, for me, my sister, you all can't wake up to what Professor 2018 said, we are at the level of Trinidad. But you know why? There are a lot of people that do well.
Hello?
And they will cover it up. And I'm begging you all that you all have gone this trend, especially you see my brother there and the sister there, that you have gone this trend where you're willing to say rule of law. We will criticize you as guns, we will criticize police, we will criticize them when they go wrong. We ain't sweet up with them because we did any for God's sake, that the current hierarchy will condemn the uniform, every one of them, and because they have failed in the hierarchy, they have failed us. They have failed us. And I hope again that Mr. Gonsalve, and especially those of them in the opposition that basically doesn't seem to understand what is rule of law, including Friday Lickup and comments, all of them, will hand in their resignation so that we could get people like the young people here who seem to want to take us on a road of accountability and democracy. Love you all very much. Be very careful, especially when night come, because there are a lot of guns on the street and they could come in and basically police might take a whole year before they come because they're very disorganized.
All right.
They're very disorganized. It's the worst police in the world. I God, man.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I can't co-sign the worst police in the world there because the police in other countries killing people, killing civilians like regular. I can't co-sign that. And also the commissioner of police is not Colin John. But while he was talking, he said something, and I said I would have asked you, what are your thoughts on this? Because you've brought it up, the killing per capita. We are at 7. Our population is 100,000 roughly.
Between 100 and 110.
Okay. How is it that we were the ones last year with more murders per capita? I think it's as of Valentine's Day at least, their murder count was 5
per 100,000.
I think its population is 47,000.
No, the figure, the number 7 that you're looking at was for 2023.
Yeah. So let me see what its murder rates was 2023.
Because let's say we had
no, because every time I hear it, it always hits my my year wrong. 30.
So they had 30.
31.
There's like 47,000. So if you double that.
So 31. So it's 31 as of December 24th. We don't know if there was any more. But with a population of 47,000, how is it that we're still the highest per capita? We had 55.
Where is St. Kitts on that chart?
And that's what we need to find out. But
yeah,
there's just something I always thought about, like how is it? Because persons always say per capita. But I remember there are countries with smaller populations with murder rates that aren't really that far from ours.
Yeah, there maybe like 2 years ago, one time during a discussion, it was highlighted you guys should watch St. Kitts too,
Mhm.
because even though the total numbers are small, um, when you do the math per 100,000, it is pretty high.
Okay. Yeah.
Compared. But I mean, we at face value we would look at total numbers because anybody going to sit down and do all the maths. That's why people always mention in Jamaica and Trinidad.
I'll never stop mentioning Jamaica and Trinidad. Them countries different. But back to the topic, right? What I don't like is the defense that we usually hear when persons talk about the lack of confidentiality within the police force. The argument where, we need to remember that the police officers they're part of our society. They're just like you and me. So because they're part of this society, because they have friends, because they form a relationship, it means that if someone tells you something in confidence, that means it needs to be repeated. And then we need to also look at the fact that when there are certain crimes against men, it's not taken seriously. If a woman attacks a man physically, a man makes a police report, and persons often joke about it. Oh, the police won't take it serious. They'll laugh you out to the station. But should they? Should that be happening? If a man is raped and he goes to the police, should that be made a joke, or should it be taken seriously? And then when you make a report, it's a joke to them. They mention it to their friends. Hey, XYZ came in here and said whatever, and it has happened in the past. So the excuse of they're just like any other Vincentian, or they're part of our community in that sense, should not stand. They should be trained to do better. And I don't. And this is just in Caliac where this person issued this complaint. We've had this discussion for years. And this is why people don't feel safe coming out and making reports or saying that they saw anything. How do we fix this?
Confidence. You're hurting people's confidence. Now imagine you go in police training, right? And they have to be emphasizing, keep quiet. Hush your mouth. Don't say anything. I mean, I think it's just like basic common sense, I find. But when people say they're part of the society, it's just stating a fact because we just love talk. We don't know what is secret. Well, there are certain things that people keep secret, but generally we don't know what is secret. One person knows something, the entire world going to end up knowing. And we see it like we don't know when to not say something.
Unfortunately.
You see it when you have like children that are being abused physically or sexually, when folks would get on their mobile devices and share these images and videos for everybody to see. Certain things you just don't share. Just keep quiet. It's very simple, but it's so hard for some folks to do. You're supposed to be operating at a higher level, man. Hello, good morning.
Just a suggestion, something just come to mind with all this talk. I think not long from now, some bright Vincentian will be able to present an academic paper on what is going on in civilian Grenades and get a first degree. That's just my thinking, because this thing is becoming an academic study as far as I'm concerned with what is going on in our country. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
All right. Just a little side note there, away from the topic. Because we had asked and somebody provided the information for the villages in order from Diamond Estate.
Oh, yes.
So we have Diamond Estate, Stubbs, Calder, then Argyle, then Peruvian Vale, then where is Shipping Bay?
After Peruvian Vale, you see that?
Yeah, but like, I've never heard Shipping Bay before. So where exactly is it?
Bible. I'm trying to drive in my mind.
All right. So after Shipping Bay is Bible, then Bridgetown in part of Bible?
No.
Really? I always thought
I'm pretty
Bridgetown
sure
was
there's
part
a
of
sign that says "Welcome to Bridgetown." Right by is there a church there by the corner with the white wall, big white wall corner there? So
I can't
I
remember.
feel like they have police station close by too.
Then Cedars. Well, okay.
Also, it's a distance away, man.
It's a good distance.
Okay, so it's not so close. Let's read some more comments. Good morning, Miss Tal. Sorry. Good morning. I'm good. Here in New York, the NYPD has an IAB, Internal Affairs Bureau, that handles police corruption, misconduct,
Yeah, but
etc.
NYPD has the budget to fund an entire
Department.
bureau for, because the internal relations bureau in the NYPD goes across all the precincts. It's not just one precinct. So they have the funding to carry out all those investigations. I don't think we have the funding to carry out all the investigations because people make a lot of complaints.
We don't even have money to fix certain things. So sleep under an umbrella. Yes, here in St. Vincent, we fall out of love for each other. Where is the love? What I'm seeing here in SB, we need a whole month of revival, prayer. Have so much love in your heart for each other. Have some love in your heart for each other. God is watching. Look out, Vincent Chance. So this comment came in from before. Good morning. What drives a man to kill a woman? Storm Spring method first turned up in Spain in the caravan community, where local criminals will put sleeping gas into your caravan and then rob them.
Oh.
A good smoke and gas detector in your home will alert you. But would it be fast enough?
Yeah, that is
By the
also
time
the
it-
thing.
They catch you, be like, ooh, snooze again.
Yeah.
Like we had a sleeping mask. First, we went through a period of COVID, but we had to be masked up all the time. Now, in order to keep ourselves safe, not only do we have to put in security systems, dogs, get a legal firearm, self-defense training, get some new windows. What else we had to do? Make sure certain things not in the yard, XYZ, walk in the house backward, throw some salt on the ground. We got a sleeping mask. Are all calls in a police station not recorded as in police station around the world, therefore being able to trace information leaks? Supposed to put some cameras with some...
Whatever happened to this body cam thing?
They're waiting on the body. I'm just kidding. Waiting on the body to put it on. I'm not sure. They would have to give us an update because I haven't checked the RSVJPF's Facebook page to see if they've sent any updates. So that I cannot tell you. Speaking of police and everything, crime related, sadly, the Amnesty, National Firearms Amnesty 2024, it is scheduled for March 1st to March 31st. March is going to be a big month, you know, the minimum wage thingy. Yeah, they said March. 92 days. That's how long it's going to run for. 92 days. So if you want some more information, I'm taking this from Searchlight, but it should be printed in all the newspapers.
It's March 1st to May 31st.
Is it May 31st or May 31? March 1. I just remember that from another time. Somebody says here, our recruiting, training, and selection policies is extremely poor in the police force. No, well, I don't know about that, but let me tell you, it depends on where you're pulling people from. If it is that people, our society, we just talk, more than likely, statistically speaking, obviously you're gonna pull out a talker. Yeah.
They need to bring back school days where they put the talker in the corner. Who's talk? Hey,
Two straps.
In
Back to the class.
In the corner. Because I don't understand why it's so common. And while we could make a light joke about it's not really funny because it put a lot of people in danger. It then causes a rift. This is why we see what we saw at Aunt Job's. This is why we see what we saw. Where is it, Aunt Job's? This like an old man at Massey.
Because you are old.
This is why we saw what we saw at Choppins. This is why persons don't want to go in and make reports. This is why when police question people don't see anything. And Trevor Bailey said himself on an interview that officers cannot expect to not have a relationship with the community, but expect persons to come in and make reports. Yeah. So all these things, having a relationship strengthens your relationship with the community And it will cause persons to have a little bit more faith in you as police officers. And then the more you form these relationships, the less you feel like you need to talk about certain things. Keep your mouth shut. Respect the post that you're in. Please. You're putting people in danger, and people are losing faith in the police, and people can't afford to lose faith in the police because we need the police. The police are supposed to protect us. The police are supposed to make us feel safe. When a crime happens, person should feel like, listen, the first thing I should do is make a report to the police. We saw in Leeward that persons tried rushing the police station, throwing stuff at the police station to get the to get the alleged killer. Now, if it is that people have faith in the police, you think that would happen, or they just leave it in the hands of the police to walk on?
I think that might also include a bit of anger and frustration in that one there. But here's another twist to it, right? Here's another twist. Responsible media professionals out here doing what they deem to be responsible, right? Trying to assist with recreating and fixing the relationship, because we understand the long-term effects of having a positive relationship. And you come out here misbehaving and messing up the entire scene, having people to have to start from scratch. It's not a case where, the truth is being withheld or covered up. But, I mean, you have to try somewhere to turn things around. Yeah. Do we have time for a call? Because I know we have
a quick call before we break for ads.
We got a minute. Hello, good morning. 2 minutes.
Gentlemen, people, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Well, it's a nice topic. It's a nice topic. Go talk until next week. But that one, in terms of trying to get the alleged killer, that one could be a social one, eh?
It could what?
That one could be what we see in other country. Well, sorry, not we, they. Right? But also, too, in terms of the police have to make people feel like when you lock the crime into the station, the crime is something to beat me. Right? We haven't too much of a complaint. I had a friend that was walking by a famous bakery. The police meeting walk a couple of years ago. And crime proven well. He come back in the morning late, almost lose you up. You understand? So we can't have that. If you arrest somebody into the station, and if the police say, we go down with the police, you do nothing wrong, they're going to let you go. You have to get head back home, you get head back home. But we can't have the police, black squad especially. I don't have a problem with the police, but people talk, and 6 French men ain't going to tell one line like that.
Right.
So if the couple that talk, especially chopping, I mean, I was concentrating everybody 7 times should be arrested. But when I do get these stories, like, you walk a man, somebody to meet him, we can't work like that. You know what I mean? The lie is the lie. If you arrest the man, you arrest the man. But we don't want to have a situation where people are afraid to go with the police. You understand? So it's a kind of all-around thing. I know my call and tell the police, well, if the man over the break your house, But the man going to say, but how you know it's me? Like now the Egypt tell me you, and then you come up to me in the evening, and then a different day or something start. So it's a kind of exact something all around. And I think the police really alone, when you go to take an AIDS test, before you show people under your head.
Very good point. Very good point.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes come on. I will shoot them to be misbehaving in a class. If they come to the principal, you taking a video. As a teacher, as a worker. You know, you really want to have all that. I mean, there's a little something to it. But as I say, not just the police, but things generally, businesses generally.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, government institutions generally. I mean, even parents go and try to cost the principal or cost the teacher that hit the child instead of going to the ministry and taking video. So it's a kind, as I say, it's not just one entity, but it's everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yes.
So I would leave it there for now and give somebody a little piece.
All right,
thank you so
Carla,
much
thanks for your contribution. All right, so we're going to break now for some ads, and we'll be right back with Activated Mornings this morning.
Thinking of winning the Lotto